So the first thing is we're going to come over here and we're going to set up an appointment, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you what that appointment looks like ahead of time. So I'll go ahead and click on this preview button right here, right? This preview appointment button. And what that's going to do is that's going to open up the appointment. So I'm going to say you can come over here and you're going to click on this preview appointment button. And when you do, your appointment's going to look just like this. So it's going to come over here. It's going to load all your times if you wanted to. You can put a video on here. Very, very simple, clean. You can go ahead and customize the design. So all we're going to do is we're going to come up here. We're going to click on Create New Appointment. That's it. And so you'll come over here, and we'll just go ahead and create a new one real quick. So I'll say coaching call, right? And so you'll go ahead and put in a description. Now, yes, you can assign to employee. We'll talk about that in a minute. Over here, you can go ahead and meet on Zoom. Go to meeting, you can have them call, they can call you, you meet at their address, they meet at your address, whatever you want to do, right? So I'll just go ahead and say Zoom. Here you'll just say we'll meet on Zoom, okay? You have the ability to charge for the appointment and everything, but let's just go ahead and click the save button, right? I'm going to go through this, guys. Look, you can go ahead and set the length. Here's the number of attendees. What you can do down here is you can come over here and this is how you'll set your times. So you just come like this and we can go ahead and move it like here. So now this shows that you're available these 2 days during that time. Now, what you're able to do is you're actually able to set up what's called a default availability. And so you set up the times once, and every time you create an appointment, it uses those times. And that way your appointments don't step on top of each other. Does that make sense? Let's say, okay, so let's go ahead and set a start date today, and let's just go ahead and include like 3 months from now, 3 years from now, whatever it is you want to do, and we'll go ahead and click the save button. Okay. Now, it wants to know slot length, so we'll just go ahead and put in 30 minutes. So notice it'll tell you if you need to do something else. So there you go. Pretty easy, right? Now, this stuff right here, let's not worry about none of this, but this one right here, this is really cool. And so how this works is if you have like 12 available slots for the day, you can put in here 3, and what it'll do is it'll only show 3 of those slots, and then once one of those slots gets booked, it'll get replaced. Pretty cool, right? Okay. So once they register for the appointment, right now it's going to collect their name and email. But if I want, I can add a custom field. So if I want to add like their Skype address or their Facebook or whatever, I can go ahead and do that. Now down here, what you can do is you can have it set up to where it'll send out reminders. And we have default reminders as well. Right now, for the sake of time, I'm just going to say, let's skip the reminders. I'll go ahead and click save. And then this is where some tags fired off. I'll show you some tags here in a little bit. But just kind of keep that in mind that you can fire off tags when somebody makes an appointment, when they cancel an appointment, or when we sell them on the appointment. Okay, is everything making sense? So then here, we can come over here. If we want to add a logo on our appointment, we can. What I suggest you do, this is my profile picture. I'll go ahead and turn that on. I can show other appointments if I want to. If I want to show like my Facebook, my Twitter, my LinkedIn, all of that can appear up here at the top of our calendar, okay? And then if I want to put a video there, kind of like I have my video here, I can make that show. And then I can actually send them to a URL after they submit the appointment. And then down here, I can go ahead and customize that appointment. But we'll go ahead and click the save button. And then let me go ahead and turn this off. See, it's giving me this message here. We'll click the save button. And now we've gone and created the appointment. Okay, it is very, very powerful, but that's how easy you do it. Okay, so here's your link to your appointment. And obviously, in this last step, you can go through here and you can customize it. So now that we have set up our appointment, now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and set up an application or a survey. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up both of them at once. And then you can choose which one you want to use. So just go ahead and show you really quick. If I click on this here and if I open this up, this is kind of what our application looks like. So it's long form and you can go ahead and put a video in here and everything. It's kind of like that official look. This application here has made me a lot of money. But the other thing we can do, let me come down here. I'll grab my daughter's survey here. Let me go ahead and open this one, see if this is it. At the same time, you're also going to create a beautiful survey just like this. And so they can go ahead and click the letters on their phone or whatever they want to do, but you're able to customize it with the backgrounds, with the colors and everything else. So we're going to keep this very, very simple. I don't want to overwhelm you. I just want you to know how fast we do it. So go ahead and click Create New Survey button. So they're going to click that and say, okay, go ahead and name your survey. And they're going to, what do you want me to call it? I said, just call it coaching program. Okay, so they're going to do coaching call, right? Create the survey. All right. Now, here's the thing. I said, so you got simple steps over here, but see that menu right there in the middle? These are like your different question types. So what I want you to do is just go ahead and click on the top one, right? and ask any question in the world, right? And how long have you been online? Or, so they're going to do something like that. I'm going to say, okay, you know what? Let's simplify it. Just ask one question with yes or no. Like, have you been online long? And then you're going to go ahead and type in yes, and you're going to type in no. Okay, save changes. Now let's do it again. This time I'm going to tell you what to do. So go ahead and click that multiple choice button. Now we're going to create what's called a qualifying question. And so what I want you to do is I want you to ask a simple question. Will you get on the phone with me? Okay, and I want you to say yes. And I want you to say no way. Okay, now here's the thing. If people say yes, we're going to get on the phone with them. They're willing to play ball. And so that's what we call qualified. But if they say no, then they're disqualified. And we're not putting them down. We're not punishing them or anything, but we're not going to waste our time with them. Instead, we'll send them to a webinar sign-up page, or we'll send them to a sales page or a group or something like that. And I'll say, does that make sense? That's what it'll do. So what you want to do is come over here and click that first checkbox. Now watch how easy this is. I want you to click that blue button there. And if they say yes, we're going to work with them. But if they say no, I want you to click on this disqualifier box right there and go ahead and click Save Changes. I said now the system knows that if somebody says no, they're disqualified. Now, but we are the most successful with just having one qualifying question. They're going to go, oh, okay. All right. So now you can come over here and say, okay, so you can kind of run through the different types here. You got drop-down types. You got single text box. You got like a comment box. We can click this here. We could say comments, right? Ratings, happy. If I want their contact information, I can click this here, and I can come over here. I can get like their company name if I want to, save changes. And so we'll say, please tell me who you are, save changes, and boom, now you got all their contact information and everything else. And at this point, and then you'll tell them, okay, go ahead and click on the next step. And you'll say, okay, now what we're going to do now is we're going to create an application. And remember that survey I showed you a minute ago? It looks just like this. We just created that for you as well. And so what you're able to do is you got an application and you got two types of surveys. At this point, if you wanted to like move the questions around in a different order for each survey, you could do that. Click next step. All right, look, we're over here on step number 3. Now, what we could do is we can go ahead and put, this is our applications, we could put a like a headline there. So we go like this, and we go ahead and say, coaching application. Okay, and then we'll say, please fill this out to see if you are qualified. Okay, we'll go like that. It's going to take a minute, and it's going to bring it in. You can also do the same exact thing if you want to put a logo here and everything else. That's cool. You'll get it. You can put a video there, kind of like I did on the one that I showed you a minute ago. It's very, very easy. You can put terms of service down there, whatever else. But watch this. If we come over here to site survey, now this is the actual layout for the site survey, but watch what we get to do, okay? We're going to go ahead and click on this little paintbrush here. Now check this out. What's going to happen is it's going to open up your actual survey. And so maybe you don't like these colors. Well, we have predefined colors. We can come over here and we can go ahead and click this, and it's going to change the colors for us, right? Or we can do custom colors if we want to, or we can go ahead and do an image as well, right? So that's how easily you're able to customize your survey. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next step. Let's go back to step number 3. There's one thing I forgot to show you. Now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and click on advanced actions. Now, remember where we talked about the qualifying versus disqualifying? Well, look, if somebody's qualified, okay, this means that they said, yes, they want to get on the phone with us. Go ahead and pull down that menu and see, you can choose a custom URL you send them to. You can send them to one of your lead capture pages in our system, or what's even better, what's been very successful for our students, is to go ahead and send them right to an appointment. So you're going to choose appointment and then go ahead and choose the appointment that we just set up. And that's it. Now, what happens, I want to make sure you get this, when they open up that application or that survey, and when they get to that one qualifying question that says, do you want to get on the phone with us? If they say yes, it's going to send them to this appointment. So you're going to allow me to set up an appointment or a survey that quick. I'm able to qualify it. And if they answer right, it's going to send them to my appointment. So you say, okay, yes. So yes, we'll send them to the appointment. But here's the people that say no, the people that don't want to get on the phone with us. So we can go ahead and like say, hey, thank you so much. We'll be in touch with you. Or we can send them to a custom URL. Or we could actually send them to a different appointment. So maybe we have a different team that's going to sell like a low-end offer to them. Like, You completely set it up however you want, right? So I'll go ahead and just leave it for a default page, and I'm going to click Save Changes. All right, and then I say, okay, go ahead and click Next Step. Now, automated actions, you can go ahead and skip this for right now. This is like if you're using Infusionsoft or something. You don't need to know this right now. Just go ahead and click on Next Step, and here you'll see that you got the 3 links. There you have your application. There you have your site survey. There you have your web survey. Here's the thing. We already covered this guy, and we covered this guy. So now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and click on this third icon here. This is what we call a linked campaign. Now, here's what's cool about this, okay? Because we went and we linked a survey or an application to our appointment when we did the qualifying process, this software automatically knows that, hey, we have some more information available at our fingertips. And so what happens is this software will automatically start putting that data together for you. So now I know the number of views that that specific campaign had. And out of that, how many people submitted that application? And out of that, how many people were qualified? How many people were disqualified? How many people made an appointment? How many people showed up for that appointment? How many people closed on the appointment? And how many people do I have in the pipeline? And how many people have I closed in the pipeline? And then I have my close all together. And you don't have to do anything. Now, I don't know any other system that has ever given me all this information in one panel like this. Do you? Now, remember those tags that I was talking about a couple minutes ago? We saw them when we set up the appointment. Remember I said that if somebody makes an appointment, we can fire off a tag. If they cancel an appointment, we can fire off a tag. And if we close them on the appointment, meaning we sell them on the appointment, we can fire off a tag. And they'll be like, yeah, okay. All right, here's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and let me show you how fast we set up tags, right? So we'll go ahead and click on this. Now, the first thing is we have what we call groups. And so we might have thousands of tags. And so what we need to do is we need to group the tags together. Does that make sense? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and open up this group. And you see that I have a group called events and I have a group called meetups. They're going to say, okay, cool. So here, if I go ahead and pull up my events, you're going to see tags just for my events. And if I pull up my meetups, you will see tags just for the meetups. Okay, so what I'm going to do is if I want to create a new group, I can go ahead and click this here. I create a new group, and then I can go ahead and put the tags in the group. Does that make sense? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and show you an existing tag for sake of time. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click this edit button, all right? And you're going to see there's the name of my tag, and it's inside of this group. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to rules, okay? And from here, I can go ahead and put this tag in an autoresponder. Now, I like ActiveCampaign. So with ActiveCampaign, I'm also going to go and put them into a specific list. And then, let's see if this goes. Once this list fires off, I can also put them in a tag inside of ActiveCampaign as well. So now you got all your active or your automations and everything happening inside of ActiveCampaign, right? I said, but watch. Now, here's where the real magic comes in. If I click this box here, boom, I can go ahead and put them in a pipeline. And from there, I can choose the stage. And then from there, I can actually link them to a product or package. So that's it. That's all you got to do. Any questions on the tags? Here's how this works. You got leads coming in through your applications, through your surveys, through your appointments. Okay, pretty much any way you can think of to generate a lead. Well, what this system's going to do is going to track each and every lead, and it's going to track their whole entire history. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on this one here called Lead Bank, okay? I'm going to say, okay, so with lead banks, what we can do is we can come over here and we can filter the leads. So if I want to look at leads just in a specific survey or just in a specific appointment, right, or in specific forms, and we'll talk about the forms here in a minute, I can do it. If I want to search by tags, if I want to search by what's called quality scores, you see over here we got these flames. These are quality scores. Now, real quick, how the quality score works. The quality score is based off how recent the lead is and how much activity they've done. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to something that has a high score, this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and open this up here. So the lead is, his name's Anrup. This actually is my developer. And you can see he came into on August 12th. I'm going to go ahead and click this button here. And now you'll see the whole entire history, right? And so what happens is now you start seeing that his data is recent and he's doing a lot of activity, which means he's probably ready to buy. Does that make sense? this system's going to track everything it does. Yeah, everything that Anrup is doing, it's going to track. And it doesn't matter if he's using ClickFunnels, if he's filling out applications, surveys, we can import the leads. Any way you can think of to generate a lead, this system right here will track it. Does that make sense? I say also, I can see if they're over here inside of a pipeline. I can see if I have sold them before. I can see if I have their email. I can also have them starred if we're doing something special for them. And that's how the lead bank works. So now speaking of, ClickBank, like, do you use a specific page builder? So you already have all your pages, your funnels and everything set up, right? Because with this system here, you don't have to do anything different. Matter of fact, you can go ahead and take your existing pages, and what you're going to do now is we're going to click on this guy right here that says Forms, and what we're able to do is we're able to set up a form. So if I go ahead and edit this existing form, you'll see that I'm going to go ahead and fill out this form, very, very basic, and since we're kind of taking over the form code, we need to know where do you want to send them after you submit the form. So you can go ahead and put them right back into the funnel. So if you're using ClickFunnels, you would go ahead and put the next page in the funnel, right? But here's where the magic happens. If we come over here to automation, I can go ahead and place them into an autoresponder. And so if I'm using ActiveCampaign, I can also put it into a list with a tag. I can choose the tag again. I can go ahead and set the tag for ActiveCampaign. I can go ahead and add them directly into our pipeline. I can put them in the stage. I can assign them to the product, or what we have, a package, which is like a bundle of products, right? And then I could just go ahead and choose that right here. And so what happens is we're going to give you a code. And so the code looks just like this. And so you're going to take this code and you're going to put it in your ClickFunnels page or whatever. And what happens is it will keep the design of ClickFunnels, but now your leads are not only going into ClickFunnels or Profit Builder or Thrive Themes or whatever the case may be, but the leads are also coming into this system here. All right, so there's our demonstration of forms. Here's what's freaking cool. This is where you are going to fall out of your chair, because what we're going to do now, we've already done this, 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 and this, and we did the lead bank. Do you have any questions up to this point? Okay, now here's where the real magic happens. Here's where we just complete the whole entire puzzle. I want you to click on this thing that says pipeline. Now, I said, so here's what our pipeline looks like. So I'm going to come over here to one of my events that I did, and you're going to see that these are all people that registered for the event. These are called stages. So these are people that were qualified for my event. So these were people that were registered for the event. And then when we tried to call them, see if they're coming to the event, there was no answer. And then once we confirmed they were coming, we move them over here to this column. If there was no number, we move them over here. If they're not coming, we move them over here, right? I said, so what happens is I'm going to get on the phone with, say, Susan, okay? And notice we have the phone number right here, so you don't have to click anything. It's not hard to find a phone number. That's something that we really appreciate in our system. And all I'm going to do is once I talk to her and Susan says, yeah, I'm coming, all I'm going to do is physically move it over here. Now, what's cool is you can set it up to where as soon as you move that lead, guess what happens? We fire off a tag when they hit this stage. So now what I can do is I can go ahead and click on this lead here. And what's going to happen is it's going to open up a lead detail. And so now I can see all of the opportunities. This is what this person's interested in buying. I can see any tasks that I have, any other contacts for this company. I can see my amount that I'm good for, the opportunity. So this is the current opportunity that I'm on. I got my notes. In the past, you've had to have Zapier. You've had to have all these different systems. And you know what systems they're currently using, right? You've had to have Calendly. You've had to have SurveyMonkey. You'd had to have Wufoo Forms. You had to have Pipedrive. You had to have Infusionsoft. I'm going to show you something, and I really hope that you are sitting down for this, because you're not going to believe what's going to happen. Are you ready for this? Are you guys ready? Are you ready for this, right? We're going to come over here, and we're going to click on links. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this whole entire process together for you. And so watch this. Forget about Zapier. Forget about connecting all those systems. All we're going to do is come over here, and we're going to name our campaign. And then you're going to come over here. You're going to choose your type. So you got appointments. So go ahead and choose your appointment, right? So they're going to go ahead and choose this appointment. Say, okay, cool. Now what we're going to do is everybody submits this appointment. We're going to go ahead and drop it into our pipeline. So go ahead and choose a pipeline. They're going to say, okay, cool. I said, now what we can do is everybody hits the pipeline. We can go ahead and link it to an offer or a package. So go ahead and choose the product. Boom. Now here's where the real magic comes in, because what if I told you you can now decide who is going to handle all your appointments and your surveys and your applications and your forms and your landing pages. And not only that, you could go ahead and round robin all of the employees as well. And to make things even more crazy, each and every one of your employees actually has an app with your logo, your branding, your company, and they are getting assigned these leads in real time where they can follow up with them immediately. And you, as the manager, as the big boss, can watch everything go down. You can see exactly how fast they respond, how quickly they're messaging. You can do all that stuff.